Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I'm going to tell you brought to you by is Dispose LLC. This is a great garbage company doing great things, not just because of the fact I work there, it's for the fact that I want to make sure I give you customer satisfaction. One of the things I can tell you, we're constantly working and improve all the things that we do, from our trucks, our equipment, and let alone our website. Yes. That's right. We made it super friendly for you to go onto it and order without even have to pick up the phone and call anybody. So we're trying to consider you during this pandemic and make everything easy.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
That's one of the things we're doing over there. And just go to the website, Dispose LLC.
Nice.
Now, I got to get back to the guy who's been rocking with me now for over 4 years. Craftmatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
Fabulous, bruh.
That man constantly got that smile, that glow. I got to scoot back. I got to get this to rub off, okay?
Fabulous, man. Listen, and every time I see you, you fabulous too, bruh.
I be faking it. I be faking it. Hey, you be feeling like, I be faking.
Yeah, man, the life is just so good, man. You know, there's high tide and low tide,
right.
and in the midst of it, you got to maintain your sense of self, you know? Okay. And I've been able to just go through a whole lot here in the last couple of years, man, and just seeing so much progress in myself, so much progress in my life, and just pleased with it, man. Just pleased with it. Still grinding every day. You know, the grind never ends. That's one thing you got to learn about life. For those of you who haven't figured it out yet, the grind doesn't end.
No.
And that's what we are here to do. And so I just do it with joy every day. You know what I mean? How you doing, Smooth Jay?
Man, let me tell you, man, it's a constant battle. But one of the things I like is good people around me. And that's why I love the topic, because again, this goes to around that circle of influence that's around you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little fun tonight.
Yeah.
But one of the things I can tell you, man, is happy and high spirited.
Yeah.
I had to lay there next to myself and realize being alone is not being alone when you're in the presence of the Lord.
Yes.
When you lay in there and you realize there's so many more things you have to do, and you was just looking at so many other excuses. I'm using that's what I had. I had excuses. And he put in front of me a road that I need to go down, and I got all these excuses. And now I'm starting to realize it's just a path you got to take.
Right.
Now I'm realizing that path is nowhere near as bad as all the decisions I was trying to make.
Right.
So again, it's an eye-opener, but it's for you. I can't tell you how to take a leap and jump out there and you ain't ready, because again, it's going to hurt. But when you endure all the stuff you've been enduring, you realize you can minimize the pain.
Yes.
And that's where I'm at this point in my life.
That's so powerful, Jay. That's so powerful, because it basically says that better days are coming.
That's correct.
Jump out there. You're going to end up in the midst of a whirlwind, but better days are coming.
Correct.
And we got to live toward the promise. A great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we are here to liberate your mind and your soul with a fantastic dialogue. We're just going to talk about some things that are kind of beneath the surface. And as we do so, we're hoping that you can chime in from your seat, wherever you may be, at whatever time you may have joined us, and really participate in the show. Determine what you would do, how you're going to handle it, what you're going to change about yourself or your life. Really, we like to think of this show a little bit as a therapeutic, because if you really chime in, you're going to get something good out of it. Something that you can take into your tomorrow, and maybe bridge some gaps that you may not have been able to bridge yesterday.
I like
we thank you again for being here with us. For those of you who are live tonight, and of course we also start to show off with a prayer. Didn't know, Jay, if you want to.
Man, you already hit him once. Go ahead and knock him over the shoulder, baby.
All right.
And if any of y'all feel like it's Cash App, Bar Talk with Jay, or Jeremiah Herbert, don't worry, I put in the caption.
Yeah. I'm slowly but surely turning my prayers here into technical prayers.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm trying to get so much out of it. I don't want it to just be, Lord help me. Lord help me, and I thank you, and then be gone. I want to get into I want to dig into the flesh of life as I do so in my prayers. So tonight we're going to pray about unity.
Ooh.
Okay. And I just like to bring, the Word was God and the Word was with God, and so when I speak these words, they have very powerful meanings. And we have to bridge the gap in the spirit with those, we have to embody these words in our spirit. And that's what prayer is oftentimes about. It's not about changing God. It's about changing ourselves, right? We got to get God's word in our spirit, and then it will move through us and for us. And so let's just invite God into the show tonight. Heavenly Father, we thank you We thank you. We thank you for your awesome presence and your grace and your mercy. And you just continue to provide for us and lift us. And we just thank you for who you are tonight in our lives. We ask, Father, that you would give us a greater understanding of the idea of unity. We're asking for there to be no more enemy activity in our lives, Father. We're asking for agreement and consensus in all of our lives, in all of our relationships, for a togetherness and a belonging, Father. Some helpfulness coming from others and helpfulness coming from us, Heavenly Father. We ask that you would give us a singleness and a oneness of purpose and a wholeness, Father, in some way, in all of our deepest and most important relationships, Father. We're asking that you would grant us cohesion. Cohesion perhaps with family members we haven't talked to in such a long time, or cohesion with people we've been at odds with, Father. We ask that you would create a spirit of undividedness and coherence and congruence and unity. We're asking, Father, that you would give us a sameness of purpose in our spirit to reach unity. We thank you, Lord, for this great show. We ask that you would be here tonight and speak through us. Let it be edifying to the Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Woo, if y'all ain't feel that, I don't know what y'all trying to feel tonight.
Amen. Man, that's good stuff right there, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm about to start humming. I over here. We're about to have church for real.
Man, yeah, when I think about asking God for greater unity, it causes me to think about all the things in my life that has seemingly been full of separateness, full of challenge, full of conflict, full of disagreements. It just seems like we've gone through a lot of life and having these things that just never work. The parts just never come together. The pieces just never come together. The right relationships just never come together. Wouldn't it be so nice to have years and years and years of knowing that it is just wholeness and unity and togetherness? Like for me, it's finding Mrs. Wright, and that's my gravy. You know what I'm saying? I'm all right, but Mrs. Wright is my gravy. And to be able to live with that gravy, you know what I mean? You find the right business partner, right? You find the right business partner, and y'all can vibe for 20 years together, making efforts and making progress in life. Don't you want togetherness? Don't you want unity?
I ain't got it, but
connection. But listen, we ain't always got it, but we got to reach for it in the spirit. And that's what that prayer was about. So let's move on and cover last week's topic. I think it was one of the most profound shows that we have done. It was a show just full of liberating information as you begin to understand communication. So we talked about the lack of communication. Is it most relevant in a relationship? And I think we did a superb job in that show, man. We really got to some nuts and bolts of it. What it comes down to, in my mind, is connection.
Correct.
Right? If you're losing the connection, if the two islands are floating apart, then somebody has got to create a connection. Right? Now, both parties will realize that the islands are drifting apart.
Right.
But sometimes we don't know what to do. We don't know what to say. We don't know how to change the atmosphere. We don't know how to bring some positivity back into, the two people, right? And so the point here is that we've got to seek ways to connect. Because if we don't seek ways to connect, then it allows each island to start developing their own understanding. And each of their individualized understandings will not be congruent. Right? They will say, she doesn't understand me and he doesn't understand me, and they just continue to float apart. And sometimes relationships, I think, have stayed together for years and years, floating apart.
Correct.
Right? They never could connect. After the wedding was done, they went to a normal life, and they lost the connection and really didn't know how to get it back. I was saying to someone special to me the other day that if I were going to pursue a marriage, I would at least like to be equipped with some techniques or some tools to be able to manage a relationship, right? And nobody's ever taught us how a relationship really is supposed to work. We're all just kind of flying by the seat of our pants, right? And there's no textbook for how relationship works. There are things that we all think should happen, but there's no textbook. So we got to be able to create connection, and what connection means to me is effort. You gotta, and tonight's show is so fitting because we're talking about forgiveness. You got to make the effort. You have to let go. You have to open a door. You have to say something, even if it's not necessarily the right thing, or even if it's not necessarily, the thing that, may create the greatest amount of peace. Sometimes you got to say it, And we talked about some very interesting qualities of saying it. First of all, there's a lot of people who just go through relationships and hide their feelings. And hidden feelings is a trap. It's a trap door. You think that you're not upsetting the environment because you don't say anything, but yet you're holding that resentment.
Yep.
You're holding that pain, and it's going to come out, whether you want it to or not. It's going to come out. And it'll come out in soft ways, it'll come out in harsh ways. Sometimes it'll make you manipulative and want to get back at them and all kinds of stuff, but that is playing itself out, So I'm rambling on about the subject. Jay, what you recall about it that was meaningful for you, my friend?
You hit on all aspects. Where I will go back to when we got deep. I told you, I like to say a lot of people are forgetting that I feel that women are multiplied. And we're getting away from understanding their powers because they're fighting all these other elements. So they're not multiplying all what they can. They're just surviving. And any great man always said had a great woman because she multiplied the thoughts that he had and made it into something great. Mm-hmm. But now it's manipulation and getting over in itself. Now when you got that going on, it's going to be hard to communicate and it's going to be hard to really see who you're dealing with. And that's what I feel like we're dealing with more now in this time. That it'd be nice if we able to get that person comfortable back into her aura. I promise you, she gonna glow and she gonna do more. But right now, all we got is complaining, not at ease, worrying, tripping, but more or less self. Right. Selfishness about self because it's self-preservation. Right. People feel like, man, the only person I got is me. Right. So why am I gonna try to make somebody else great when all they do is take from me?
Man, there's so many powerful things come up for me. But let me tell you what's key right now. The problem is the lack of communication problem is bigger than we're really dealing with. It's much bigger than we're really dealing with. Yeah. Because there are so many people who've never had a real connection with another person. Right? They really didn't experience connection but on a very few levels in their life. How are they on to be able to bridge a lifetime connection with you? And they've never been able to do that for themselves and with their own family and their own friends.
I'm a social butterfly.
Yeah, so so we're sometimes asking people to express forms of communication and connection that they're not really familiar with.
No exposure.
And that's why you really got to be equally yoked, because that's something that can throw your relationship into the it can take you off into the ditch like all the time. Because they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to have a genuine relationship. They don't know how to be honest. They never saw anybody come forth and confess that they were wrong and didn't do it the right way. They never saw any of that. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to communicate that. They never saw anybody take ownership of the crap that they created and really own up to it and then stand in the gap for the next 20 years, making it better. They never saw anybody do that. All they ever saw was people who lied and ran from the truth and, didn't want to face up to the crap and da-da-da-da-da. And so now communication becomes so impossible because I'm trying to connect with somebody who can't connect. Don't know how. They don't know how to connect, and that can be a real big problem. That's why, I think it's so powerful that we always lean on the idea that two people really can't be together without God. God has to be the glue. God has to be the glue in that relationship because we can't do it on our own. I've tried.
Like you're the only one.
I've tried.
You're the only one with it, bro.
We've tried.
I know.
We've tried so hard to, bridge those gaps. And, sometimes, man, and man, sometimes when you're in a relationship with a person and this person is, they think very differently.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you got to connect with that, but you don't want to. We tried, right?
We tried.
We don't connect with that thing that they thought or they said, and so now that even becomes kind of a thorn, right? Because now we have two different belief systems, and neither of them are wrong, but we ain't found no connection. Right?
So it's hard to be alright.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. So we need God in these relationships. So it was a great show. And I want you folks to chime in. We are all over the internet: Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, IG, and
Offer Up, Let Go, Blacklist,
and some other crazy sites. But listen, it is time for us to go to break. Let me give you the nice topic, and you guys stay tuned. We got a great show lined up for you. Jay and I are going to go in tonight on the subject. Tonight we're talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness is a must in a marriage. What about a relationship?
I got something for that.
Yeah. So I want y'all to stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back. I love that first segment, man.
Man, we got to go into this forgiveness. But before we do, what was that quote you want to throw out there?
Yeah, Bar put together a quote for us. And it's a powerful quote. And I want everybody to pay close attention to the message here.
Okay, what we got?
The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. That's good. Love must be felt in the heart. The greatest and most powerful things in the world gotta be felt. You gotta feel it, Jay. You gotta feel it in your spirit.
I thought that was gas. My bad. This is my bad. Okay, I'm good. I got you.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you, bro.
You know,
let's have a burp.
They're I always talk about in the realm of prayer that we shouldn't pray for things and stuff. We should pray for the spiritual things. We should pray for peace. We should pray for joy. We should pray for understanding. And those are the things, those are the best and most beautiful things in the world. And they cannot be seen. They can only be felt. They can only be seen and understood. They're going to, understood in their measure. And so what a powerful quote, man.
Yeah, I wondered there for a minute. I was with it, and then I was like, just in the heart? Really? So yeah, when I really think deep about it, one of the most painful things getting over is when you really love somebody deep.
Yeah.
It's very hurtful because of the feeling of love and then knowing that you don't have it no more.
Right.
That right there is something that I cannot tell nobody. If it ain't never happened to you, when they do, you will know about it.
Jay, you got kind of tender right there.
I'm only got tender because I've been through some things.
I like the perspective.
And it takes a strong person to get through it.
Yeah, once you've had love, you almost just don't want to be without it anymore.
Well, you want it back.
Yeah, you want it back. You just don't want to be without it. Even if perhaps it had to be with a new person or another person, you long for love.
Oh, yeah.
And, again, that's one of those spiritual things. So tonight we are talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness is a must in marriage. What about a relationship?
Now, you going to be on a relationship end, monogamous side. I'm going to be on the regular side because I'm going to talk about ghosting tonight, okay? Because while you over there telling everybody to forgive, let go, Jay gonna take a different approach. Bar Talk with Jay is gonna take the aggressively wrong side and tell you ghost they behind. So okay, and if you don't know what ghost is, it's a new term that the younger people be saying, and I like it. Ghosting mean drop them like a bad habit. Okay, you ain't telling them nothing.
Right?
You gone. Okay, you don't call me because I'm sure ain't calling you.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
Okay, that closure thing that a lot of people gotta have. When you get ghosted, you ain't getting nothing.
Nothing.
We gonna talk about that more tonight when we talk about forgiveness.
No, we gonna start with that, Jay.
Okay,
I like where you're coming from.
That's
right?
fine. Let's start with ghosting.
So what Jay is suggesting here is that you just disappear.
Yes, right.
Off the map. You have no need to explain. You have no need to say anything. You don't want to see their face anymore.
Nope.
They are just done. In your mind, in your heart, you are done with them completely. You might as well just disappear. Just ghost them.
Ghost them.
Right? Now, anybody who's saying that that's wrong, I would suggest it's kind of wrong. Because by the time you get to a certain place in a relationship with somebody, you may have all your questions already answered, but you just haven't swallowed the pill yet.
Nope.
There may come a time when you're riding down the road or you wake up one morning where you realize this is a wrap. It is a wrap. There is no more need for forgiveness. There is no need to accept this. They're going to keep doing it over and over and over, and you're not going to be able to fix it. You're not going to be able to change it. You've seen no change. You've seen no effort. Even if you saw a little effort and then they got bad again, at least you saw a little effort, you know? Like you ain't had nothing to put your grips on in this relationship, and there comes a time when you have to say enough is enough.
Yep.
So ghosting is the way to overcome that.
Right.
You know, when you reach a point where you don't need to be understood anymore by a certain person, that's when it's done. Right? If you really, really and truly don't care about what they think or what they're doing or anything, you might as well just go on about your business.
Be the easiest way to do it.
Because anything else really is showing signs that you are still interested. Right?
Or false forgiveness.
Okay.
Somebody can do, and the reason I say ghosting, somebody can do you wrong. All right. And I ain't gonna say every time somebody do me wrong, I ghost them. I'm just gonna be honest. When they do me wrong, I don't always just forgive. I'm like, why did you even do that? But we ain't gonna just keep discussing it because again, it's just going back and forth. That's bantering. I ain't got time for all that. You know what you did. And I'm like, okay. So this person did that. He ain't known for doing it, but he did that to me. All right. Now, I ain't really forgive you, and I ain't going to go no further. I'm just going to put you right there to a spot. Let this happen again. In my mind. I'm not going to bring it up or nothing. It happened, push it to the side, we're going to keep it moving. Now, it happens again. I'm not going to sit here and discuss what you did then and now and try to equate it to something. You showed me you.
You showed me you.
Now, at this point, I'm going to show you the backside of me.
Right.
Because at this point, if I don't move separately, I'm going to be pulled into something that I already know is like a vortex. I don't need that. That's a negativity that this person keeps bringing with me, and I'm not doing nothing about it. It's a false forgiveness if I allow this to keep happening in my atmosphere. I'm going to breathe it, and I'm going to start doing it. Okay? Somebody told me a long time ago, you around 9 broke people, you're going to make 10.
Yeah.
All right? So I got to watch what I do, what I'm with. And when you see all that negativity coming out of a person and they pushing it off on you, my whole thing is you don't quickly got to ghost them, but you got to make your mind up. If that ain't what you want, you got to make some moves.
That's right.
And you ain't going to be able to move carrying them.
And that can be your lady, that can be your tight boy, that can be your business partner, that can be your boss, that can be your coworker, that can be your neighbor.
I base it off of them.
You got to really, really get to a point where you make a decision about people. And when you get to a point where you're ghosting them, that means you're over it.
Yes. And
You're
I'm not
completely over it. And, the only way back from ghosting or feeling like you need to ghost somebody is the Lord. Right? That really is the only way. Now, just short of ghosting, there may be some opportunity for redemption. There may be some opportunity for forgiveness.
Sure.
Right? And we want to talk about this word forgiveness. We talked about it in many different ways, in many different times, but tonight it's a little unique to me talking about it specifically, because what it says is that you got to let go. You know, it says that I have to let go of the past. Now, if somebody hurt you, what I want to do, let me tell you what I'm trying to do. I want to kind of create a definition for forgiveness. A real definition. I ain't even talking about no BS definition. I'm talking about one that works for everybody and every time. This could work for everybody.
Okay.
Because if somebody does something bad to you and you find a need to forgive them, once you forgive them, does that mean you can never think about it again? Does that mean it vanishes into oblivion when you forgive them? Does that mean you're not allowed to ever speak on it again? Does that mean you're not ever allowed to deal with that? Even though you forgave them, but you're still dealing with the emotions in your heart. Now, you forgave them was a surface type thing.
Basically.
Right? I forgive you. I'm going to tell you right now, I forgive you. Right? But that don't mean it sunk all the way down to my bones.
Try it again. Try it again.
Right? That I forgive you, but I'm still watching you. I forgive you, but I still got my eyes on you. I forgive you, but somehow I'm still sensing some of that old shit.
Just bet that happened again.
Somehow I'm still sensing some of that old shit. So I forgave you, but now
you bring it back up.
It's coming up again, and it may be time for some ghosting.
That's why I threw out ghosting, because a lot of y'all just don't want to believe in it, because y'all keep saying, yeah, I forgive everybody, and you keep turning the cheek. You're going to get slapped into oblivion, okay?
Yeah.
My whole thing is, before you keep getting hit, let's understand who's swinging and who's doing what. So if I'm forgiving somebody, and let's just throw money out, okay? You a person that you got to hit me up for money all the time. You hit me up once, twice, didn't pay me back. I know things is tough, coronavirus, you might not really be working. So guess what? I'm not going to just keep bringing it up. I ain't no really forgiving. I'm just remembering, hey, this person home. All right?
You're not forgiving, you just remember.
Right, just remember.
Okay.
I ain't saying no forgiveness, because I say forgiveness, I ain't going to try to repay you at all.
Right.
All right? But I know they're running through tough times, so I'm not going to just keep bringing it up, because right then, you ain't really being a good person, knowing they're going through something. So you kind of leave it alone. All right? But then they got a nerve to see that you doing pretty good through social media or whatever. And, oh, well, I still need some help. What you mean you still need? Ain't never paid me back nothing. But,
never even mentioned it.
Right. But now all of a sudden you still need some help. You doing good. Okay. Now, before I ghost you, I want to hear y'all real quick, because this just helped me realize who I don't need. What's going on? Because that's a person that cares. Instead of just quickly ghosting you, I want to know what's going on to see if it even fit a mold that I can say, you know, something that's serious. Your mom in hospital, cancer, you dealing with a lot of bills, you going through a lot, knowing you couldn't repay. At this point, I ain't ghosting. I have to have some compassion. I'm going to at least make sure I hear. I can't say what I'm going to give, because it's going to depend on me and that circumstance. But you just telling me because it's a hard time, they cut my hours back, and shoot, I got to get this Louis purse. I ain't your man. So I'm going to help you out real quick. I'm ghosting now. Yeah. All right? Find another sap to get you what you need.
Right.
Because it ain't even what you need, it's what you want.
Yeah.
That's my problem with people, and that's why you got to ghost them sometime early, because they don't seem to quit. Because if it ain't you, it's somebody else.
But listen. You ghosted. I ain't gonna say ghosting is easy, but by the time you get to ghosting, it's pretty easy.
Oh yeah, it is.
Made, right? let's talk a little bit about this definition of forgiveness, though. Well, you know, what is that? Does that mean you can't talk about it anymore? You can't. What does that mean?
I would like to say a lot of times when it comes to forgiveness, I like to. This is my personal way of looking at it. I'm not going to bring it back up, because if I bring it back up, then clearly I ain't forgave and I ain't got past it. My whole thing is not to bring it back up, but it don't mean it don't go back in my mind, because again, it's a hurtful time, right? So I'm not bringing it back up, because you keep bringing it back up, you ain't, and then the person feel a certain type of way, so then they start bringing up other things. So my whole thing is, that's how I see how it can go. So what I say is, I push it out, and how I keep it out is when they show me different.
Okay.
All right? Because if you truly sorry about something you do, you will make change in what you do.
Okay.
So if you telling me you sorry, you telling me that ain't what you meant to do, I keep it in my mind. I'm like, okay, you know something? I'm going to give you a chance to show yourself. Cool. If this was truly a mistake, all right. And we're going to go from here. Now we go from here, and you doing the same things again that you was already doing. You didn't change nothing. You feel me?
You didn't change nothing.
You just used the word. And now you're making me feel bad about giving up a gift of forgiveness. That's a gift. Okay. I gave it to you, and you totally just ran with it, because all you wanted was that, to know that, oh, I ain't gonna be held no more.
Okay, let's dive into this.
I'm having fun with it, baby. Why?
So let's say you cheated on her, right? All right.
Well, damn.
All right.
Why I gotta go so deep?
No, we gotta go to something that
Okay,
everybody
okay.
can really
All
get,
right, I
right?
cheated.
So let's say you cheated on her, right?
Uh-huh.
And she knows it. You know, she know what was going down. She know the episodes and how you planned it, and she saw some phone calls, and she went through the fire with you, right? She went through the fire with you, Jay.
Okay.
And now, you finally come to grips with what you've been doing, and you forgive. And you ask her forgiveness. And
I forgave you.
she forgave you, right? And she forgave you, right?
Okay, she forgave you. All right.
She forgives you, right?
Right.
But in the back of her mind, in the back of her spirit, she's saying, "I forgive him, but he got over on one. He know what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing me.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I forgive him, don't mean he ain't still gonna play around or play with me." You know what I'm saying? That he gonna still try to run game and try to get over on me with different little crap, right?
But happy was.
So, what's in the back of her mind is yeah, she can forgive you openly, but on the inside she's torn down by what you did to her.
Right.
And you can't just ask a person to forget that just because they forgive you in the moment.
Correct.
I don't think it's fair to ask them because they may not be over it yet.
No.
Right? But, forgiveness is a process. It starts with a little bit, I forgive you, and then it'll start with, I'm really sorry, and later, if I say I forgive you, right? Then later on you will come back to me and say, "Crab, man, I really didn't mean that." You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be showing love back to me too, right? And then I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I know you didn't mean it, man." And then next thing you know, it's gonna soften up to the point where we really have a deeper understanding of forgiveness. It's not that surface forgiveness anymore. It's that we done had 3 or 4 dialogues about what happened, and the outcomes and the potential hurts and pains, and we done both been embarrassed in front of one another with the conversation, and we done got mad with one another in a heated discussion, and we done went through all that, right? But now we're at a point where we can really practice and experience forgiveness.
Correct.
Right? But forgiveness is easily overshadowed by your future actions.
By your ego.
Right? You can't keep doing the same things that I forgave you for and expect. You can't keep it can't keep looking like the same environment. So
but we both know that's what they do.
Yeah.
And that's why it becomes a position that we're talking about right now.
Yeah. Sometimes forgiveness is you're using their forgiveness. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. It's time for us to take another break, and we want you to stay tuned. We hope you are enjoying the show thus far. This is Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back, man. It's just another fabulous segment, man.
Oh, yeah, Graham.
I mean, there was some good stuff in there, man.
It was. Got some more stuff coming. Yeah, you all right?
Yeah.
We got some more stuff coming, though.
Yeah, we do, man. But, as I think about this subject of forgiveness, one of the things that come to mind is that this subject is about how we treat people who do us wrong.
Yeah, well,
let's think about that for a second.
Okay, let that sizzle.
It's about
what you got, Rob?
How do we treat people? How do we treat people who do us wrong? What you got, Rob?
Can I say something?
Go ahead. I'm gonna have to repeat it. Go ahead.
I feel like you treat them like there's no way. Like if they did you wrong, there's no way to treat them.
If they
because
did
at the end of the day, they just treated you a way that made you uncomfortable. Right?
If they treated you wrong, there's no way to treat them.
Hell no.
That's good. If they treated you wrong, there's really no way to
treat you.
No way to treat them.
Yeah.
No way to treat them anymore.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting perspective, Rock, because it says that if they did you wrong, that it's time to throw them away.
So they
It's time.
They garbage. They trash. They dumpster juice.
It's time to throw them away. Is that what you're suggesting?
That's what you're saying,
ghosting, right?
Well, ghosting is a tad bit different, but it goes into the same aspect. The reason I say that is you got to remember, it's not always done on the very first time.
It's never done on the very first time.
So usually it's going to be, somewhat be a small buildup, but it ain't going to be a large buildup with me, because unfortunately I've been through so much already that my tolerance level for stupidity is not that much no more. So some people are not going to be able to get over like others, all right?
Right.
So now with my ghosting stage, it's going to be early on, and it's going to be based off of you. What you bringing me, what are you doing? I always said, one of the things a manager told me a long time ago, if you keep having problems and you can't come with no solution, you the problem. Okay?
Okay.
And in business, you understand that when you got a lot of people working under you, and then you go into somebody trying to resolve these issues, and all you doing is giving all their problems with no solution. So he was trying to tell me you got to break it down. You got to find some solutions in these problems, because you putting it all on me, and that ain't what this is about. So I say the same thing when somebody keep bringing you all these problems. I mean, they ain't bringing you no solutions. You got to break them back down.
That's a great way to look at it, because that, in essence, is what it is. Somebody's bringing you their problem, right? I mean, when you boil it down, somebody's bringing you a problem, and you are now forced, challenged, coerced to forgive them, and you was just minding your business.
Had nothing to do with
You was minding your business. They did something, bad, silly, stupid, unfair, da-da-da-da-da. They came to their senses, or they got caught. One of the two. And so they brought you a problem, and now you're supposed to feel some kind of way about them. You're supposed to feel empathy for them. Is that what forgiveness is about?
No.
You see, the more we talk about this, the more I'm coming to a conclusion that forgiveness is a spiritual flavor. That forgiveness is something that's kind of spiritual. Because when you say, I forgive you, it really takes more than you to deal with what's going on underneath the surface, in your mind and in your heart. And you keep thinking about these things that happen and this stuff, and how could they put you together and lie to you, or not pay you back, or whatever the case may be. You keep thinking about these things, and you really can't deal with those things by yourself. And so if you were to offer the spirit of forgiveness, it might allow God to come into the midst of it and resurrect your relationship, resurrect your trust.
Bring it back.
It may be the thing to bring it back, because that's what forgiveness is. It's trying to bring back the cohesion. It's trying to bring back the unity.
Okay.
Right? It's trying to it's trying to rebuild something.
I feel you if exactly I'm in that spiritual place with you. When I'm not there, then I'm not going to be reciprocated the same. I'm not going to regurgitate that. It's going to be more like, that's how you feel about it. I just feel like I just need forgiveness because I'm going to do it again. I'm just asking you for you to shut it up. Because you said,
shut it up?
Yeah,
because shut it up and you're doing some silly shit.
Yeah, I don't want to cheat, but I don't want you to keep reminding me. I mean, that sounds selfish.
You can go to hell.
Oh, yeah, that's basically where I'm going.
That's how a lot of people think, though.
That's it. I mean, I'm going to give it to you real, because you sit there and you hear this person over here telling you about yourself, and you're not liking it because you got caught.
Got caught.
That's all it is. You got caught.
They know your business.
You ain't really sorry about it. You know what you was doing. You just didn't anticipate the getting caught portion. You got caught. Now you sitting here, and I ain't gonna say you feel foolish because you know what you did. And they going off from A to Z, reading your behind about the things you was doing, why they having a problem with you, and at this point you be like, okay, can you just forgive me and just move on?
Okay, that's so good, Jay. So they're reading you your rights, right? They're telling you all the things you did.
Yeah.
In that very moment, there is an opportunity for you to express your most sincere apology.
If I had it.
Your most sincere. But if you know you did it wrong, why wouldn't you just... Now listen, and see, here's the thing. It's not just about saying, baby, please forgive me for hurting you, for leaving you out there, for doing you wrong. Please forgive me.
That's all good.
But but you're saying something even more.
But
You know what I mean?
that's just it, Craig.
you're not
You
just-
gotta feel that. A lot of times, you if you just get caught cheating, you don't always feel remorse. You more pissed off at how you got caught. Somebody snitched. She went through your phone, not just your actions. Do you understand the selfishness in some of your own ways? And so you just want to get past it. Let's just be honest. It's this easy way out. I would rather go the easy way to understand what I did hurt her soul, change her whole thought process of me. Instead of me going knee deep, I'm gonna go shallow. Shallow is, man, let me just get past this. Okay, we already tight. She already know kind of how I was before she got with me.
Yeah.
Ain't no need of her tripping like this. And that's the shallow end.
How dare she gets mad at me
well, I
when
can't
she
say how
already
dare, but I'm just saying how she gonna keep going.
when she
You know?
already knew it. She
Yeah, I mean-
already knew it. You know,
Right.
and it's it ain't new.
You see how many people
Listen.
I like, and you was already tripping on my Facebook
Listen,
and
the
Instagram.
last 3 times you did it, and she forgave you, she ain't forgot it, and she ain't stopped thinking about it,
That's why the A to Z, baby.
and she ain't stopped being hurt by it. Every time she thinks about it, she's hurt by it. And literally, that's what happens, right? Every time you think about the wrong that has happened to you, you go back into a state of hurt. That's what happens, right? And so, you know, this word forgiveness, man. I'm telling you, I'm just only boiling it down to spiritual because you need God to help you with that.
You do, because it can really destroy you. I mean, even though I'm being shallow with it, and I'm telling y'all, this is how people take things, but they don't see how to destroy the other person. That other person that's trying their best to reach you because they see something in you, they're just trying to make it work. Okay, they probably said in their mind they'll never be with a cheater, but now they would one. They don't even know how to cope with it because that ain't something they ever dealt with before. So they're trying to cope and stay with your butt. And all you keep doing is like, man, when you quit nagging me about this, listen, you know I got you, you know I love you, whatever. It's a shallow end. But you don't understand the destroying end. You
Right.
breaking that person down. She going against her own values, her morals, and everything, staying with you. And truthfully, at that point, even if she's seen something in you, she also should see the negativity in you.
Yeah.
Because you're not sympathetic. You
Right.
really don't care.
You really
but
don't
you
care.
really care because you don't want her to go do it.
Right.
Okay? That's just your ego. That's some bull. Bottom line, you destroying her to build you up. I mean, come on now. Where you gonna go, babe? You know, we've been together this long. What? You can go back to that
Well,
little
yeah.
sorry dude
Yeah.
you was with before?
Yeah.
Girl, just come on and let's just keep it moving.
Yeah. Just
okay?
forget
That's
shit.
that
Let's
shallow
go on.
end.
Yeah.
And not realizing how much you're destroying a queen. This is that person that's a multiplier. I said it before. When they keep going through this, it's hard for them to keep multiplying and building up when you're destroying. And you're destroying it with your action, your words.
Listen.
So forgiveness don't mean shit to anyone when I can see you ain't trying to change. So you want me to use my godly sense to give you a privilege that you don't deserve. That's why I ghost Jazz.
That's right.
You got to go.
And
Bye.
and
Holla at your boy.
you want me to, let me see if I can get this right. And you want me to kind of live with this abstract absenteeism ass forgiveness, knowing that you out doing the same bullshit.
Basically.
You want me to sit here and you want me to wear this metal, this metal shield on my plate. I mean, the metal plate on my chest. Like, I got a reward because I was able to stay with you and forgive you through your crap, right? And that's where people oftentimes who are attempting to forgive, they feel so used. They feel like they've been really used and used up. Wow. And again, the person who's doing the bad stuff, they're not aware. They're not even thinking about the other person's feelings in that perspective. They're really not thinking about it. And that's why, we'd love for every one of those people to be in that place to get the courage to ghost. And, because you really are being destroyed little by little by means of only your own tolerance. Mm-hmm. By means of your own unwillingness to potentially stand up for yourself, or you're fighting for something. Sometimes we know people who they fight for stuff that is just not real valuable. They fight for stuff that are fallacies. And, sometimes you're fighting for a fallacy, right? You may know it's already done, but you're fighting, right? And so in that fight, you forgive, right? but you're still struggling on the inside. And, that's not a great place to be. That's a very, very painful place to be in the spirit, is to have to fight.
With the one you love.
Yeah, fight with the one you love, but fight even more so with the idea that the one you love would do that.
Ooh, that hurts so deep.
The one you love would treat you that way. The one you love would, lie to you that way, So, when it comes to forgiveness, we need to talk about the spirit of it. And I think we got a couple more minutes, Boo?
Yeah.
Okay. But we really need to cover, how to really embrace forgiveness. It's not easy, but we got to start moving toward the idea of how do we embrace.
By your action.
Yeah.
Because when you truly are trying to do better, your actions should show. Because again, I've done things, and we're going to get away from the cheating. I want to go through, I got jokes, right? And I'm used to going places and roasting your behind. And it got to a point in my marriage, my ex-wife told me, when we go here, I'm not going to be the center of your jokes, okay? So people just knew when I come around, it's going to be a comedy fest. I'm going to have fun. So I joned on my brother one time. And I joned on him so hard that I thought it was just fun and games. His wife came back and told me that he really took it personal. Now, me and my brother go way back. So for me to hear that, it kind of hurt me. All right? Because I'm like, man, he joke and say anything about me, so I know he ain't going to say anything I say about him ain't going to hurt him. What the world? But I had to stop. In the midst of me trying to defend myself, I had to hear what I did. All right? It was just in a simple joke. It wasn't nothing really serious. But it just hit him because it just hit him in a moment where it just hit him, period. It wasn't just my joke. It was just his life, how things transpired, and it hit him. But he knew it wasn't a below the belt. So when I heard it, I didn't quickly apologize. But when he started coming around, he noticed I stopped doing that towards him. I just didn't do it no more. So one time, and I'm talking about years went by, and he brought it up. He said, bro, it wasn't that serious, man. I know why you ain't doing it no more, and I appreciate it. But, bro, it wasn't that serious. And I had to tell him, I said, but you are. You mean a lot to me, and I didn't ever want you to feel that kind of pain. That's not what I was aiming for. He said, bro, you showed me when you stopped. That's how it works when you really care to change and you don't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't. But I loved him enough to know that ain't what I wanted.
That ain't what I wanted.
So guess what? I'm going to make change in what I do.
I love him enough to not upset him like that.
Yeah, because it's a simple joke.
Yeah.
But quit. He never heard me just go and say I'm sorry.
Right.
Because I feel like that don't mean nothing when I don't hurt a person.
Right.
All right?
Right.
What would mean something if they see you ain't trying to do it again?
Yes. Yes.
That means more.
That means more.
Y'all just want to say I'm sorry and then think that just gives you power and strength when you done took something from somebody because of your own action.
Listen, your forgiveness has to be followed by loyal action. Your forgiveness has to be followed by activity that supports the forgiveness. Okay? Now, we're not talking about forgiving somebody who's still lying. We're talking about genuine forgiveness. Right? We're talking about a genuine way of, I got some words here that I want to share with you.
Okay, what words?
The words that are antonyms for forgiveness. Pardon. Right? You letting them off the hook. Right?
You let them out of jail.
Okay.
Pardon.
Exoneration.
Exonerating from jail.
You're exonerating them from the thing that they did, the thing that upset you. Right? Understanding and tolerance. And purgation, right? To purge.
Okay.
Right? You're purging, right? Mercy. You're offering them mercy whenever you forgive. Leniency.
Leniency.
Yeah, okay. We're being lenient, right? Reprieve. Discharging the charges.
That's ghosting.
Right? Acquittal.
That's ghosting too.
You're giving them an acquittal. You're giving them an out. This is a pardon. That's what a real forgiveness is.
When I leave you and I don't talk to your ass no more, that's a pardon. Why should we leave? I was just saying.
We're talking about vindication, right?
Oh, okay.
These words are important because we got to get to a real clear definition and understanding of what forgiveness is. You're actually supposed to be letting it go. And a pure forgiveness, as I was going into, a pure pardon, a pure acquittal, is it's got to be something really from the heart. It cannot be from the head. It's got to be from the heart. If it's from the head, sometime or another, it's going to affect that thing is going to still affect your relationship down the road. Now, let me ask you this. It's a good question.
What you got?
Should you treat them differently after you forgive them?
No.
Or should you treat them the same way? Should you not treat them as bad, or should you be cautious of them? Or, I mean, what should happen after you acquit them?
After I acquit somebody or something, I really try to treat them the same. The reason why, I look for change.
Okay.
So if I'm looking for change, if I treat you differently, then that right there gives them an out to do something different, but not necessarily different that you want to see. I want to see you do better. So you did this to me. You did whatever it was. We won't even say what it is. We just, because everybody's situation is different.
Right.
That person comes back to me. So now I'm like acquitting them. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna give you forgiveness. All right. Now I have to go back to treating you of the same, for I can look and measure you by your actions to see if you really care enough to make change in what you're doing when you clearly did me wrong.
Right.
All right.
And if you see no change in their actions,
then I'm be skeptical that you're gonna do the same, because we already know if you keep doing the same, you're gonna get the same results.
Right.
If that result hurt me, and I'm telling you this, and you keep on still doing the same thing, then you already know what's gonna come. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, then turn this shit off. All right. And go back to your hole, because I can't help you. Ain't nobody gonna help you. And that's a sad case, because at this point we need to see what's gonna go on. It ain't like you're a psychic. They keep doing the same thing.
They keep doing the same thing.
And you
man.
want something different.
Yeah.
Come on now.
You gotta have that something different. You know what I mean? Because what they're doing, whatever it happens to be, is tearing you down, or it's taking something away from you. You know. So excellent dialogue, Jay. Believe it or not, yes, time for us to take another break, and I want you folks to stay tuned. We're gonna be right back. More Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay. Now, in this segment, I want to tell you before we even get going, Thanksgiving. Do not be looking for us to be here. Okay. Give y'all heads up real quick. Executive decision. We done a lot of things, and again, giveaways and trying to do things for the community. Still involved with, but one of the things I want to make sure you're not just sitting around on Thursday looking for this show. We might pay a repeat, but the bottom line, I want everybody to enjoy the holidays. If you celebrate it, not be around loved ones, but again, stay limited because of the COVID and the fact that the numbers are going up. I'll probably say the same thing for Christmas and New Year's, because believe it or not, Christmas Eve is on Thursday and New Year's Eve is on Thursday. So these days, again, we probably would not be participating doing the show. It is not because we don't love being in front of you guys. It's only because I want y'all to be around the ones that y'all love and have this dialogue that y'all can go back to. Archive it. Go back into it. Love it. Share it. Bring more people into it. Let's get a dialogue that we can get a love and care to each other. Make these women back to a multiplier. Make these men back into kings. That's what I'm looking for in Bar Talk with Jay. Bye. Back to you, my man, Craig.
All right. Welcome back again, folks. So we're talking about forgiveness tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, Jay, thus far,
okay,
what's been the most powerful idea for you? What's coming to mind as like the most meaningful thing that we've talked about in the realm of forgiveness?
Is watching somebody else's actions. One of the things I can tell you all day long, you can forgive somebody, and if you don't see anything change in their action, I'm promising you, you're probably going to get some of the same results. So again, I'm not telling nobody to play with anybody. It's just being fair to a person.
Yes.
Fair is like, okay, you told me you didn't mean it, and it's almost like what I did to my brother. He didn't ask me for forgiveness. He didn't ask me to say I'm sorry. You know, he just mentioned to his wife that got back to me that he didn't like something I said, and it hurt. It took me to realize that that's not what I wanted. I didn't go to him and say, I apologize, okay? That ain't what I did. That's why I try to tell people, quit running to say I'm sorry and you ain't willing to change none of your actions. How about I had to take the time to think about what I said, what I did, to see what I wanted to do different.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So instead of running back with an apology, I showed them through an action that he's seen through time. I never told him what all I did. He actually came to me later, and I'm talking years later, and said, bro, it wasn't that serious. You have to, I didn't even mean it like that. It just, you hit me at a time and you said something, and it just hit me at that moment. But I know you got love for me. I know that's not normal to you. But my whole thing is, I have to also show you. You know, the words of saying I'm sorry is good, but it's not as impactful as what he's seen. He's seen my attitude. He's seen that he meant something to me. And I ain't have to keep on saying I'm sorry, because I'm not a sorry individual. And that's what I feel like when you keep saying I'm sorry. When somebody keep apologizing to you and saying I'm sorry, I feel like that's exactly what they are.
That's exactly what they are.
All right? And if that's what you want, then you keep on taking their sorry ass back. Keep them away from me, because I'm ghosted.
Yeah.
Let them stay with you. I'm getting the heck away, because I got better things I can be around than a person that keeps saying it, knowing that's what they are. Because if they ain't changing nothing, and they know they hurting everybody, that's a sorry individual in my eye.
Yes.
So keep them in yours, and keep them away from me.
Yeah. And we were talking about, as we ended last segment, we were talking about how to treat them after the forgiveness.
And I said again, the same.
Yeah, and Jay is suggesting the same way. You treat them the same way you've been treating them, and if they change their actions, if they show you, then you change the way you treat them, right?
I can elevate
they just because you forgive them don't mean that they've earned better treatment, right? It meant that you're giving them an opportunity to show you better behavior, better actions, right? And so the word came out prejudging. No, we're not prejudging. We saw the failure. We saw what you did. Right?
We caught that.
And so we're not prejudging you. We just dealing with you based on what we know. And sometimes what we know can be very painful to you. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes what we know may be very painful to you. I'm of the notion
What's that?
that there is no forgiveness if there is no remorse.
Ooh.
I've been living by this philosophy for many years, and it has come just true, man, that when a person tells you that they are sorry and they apologize, you got to hear a real sincerity in their voice. Now, for the people who never apologize, the person who needs to be apologized to can never hear the sincerity in your voice. They can never hear you tell them how you made them feel, how dumb you were for doing it, that you'll never do it again. All of those are messages that say, I'm truly sorry. I'm not just sorry. I'm not just apologizing to make you feel better. I'm apologizing because the things that I did were horrible things. They were bad things. They were the wrong things to do. And I'm taking ownership of them now, that I did them, and I'm never going to do them again. And if you will just allow me to plead for your trust, if you would allow me to plead for an opportunity to just make, to show you that I'm going to treat you right, that I'm going to take care of you, etc. If you'll just grant me an opportunity to do so, what come up in my mind is people who are in this situation when it comes to money, right? They didn't pay you back before, but when they come to you this time, they like, listen, I need your help again. I know I ain't take care of you last time.
Oh my goodness. Oh, how many times I got that phone call.
Right? And the question is, do you hear remorse in their voice? Probably not, because you'll hear more need.
That's all I hear.
Right? Yeah, so there has to be remorse, because if the person who's needing the apology don't sense closure, right? Let's just say some things went down, and you don't know all the things that went down, you just know the bottom line, right? So they went on this trip. They were supposed to be going to hang out with their buddies and have some meetings, and they end up going out on a trip, hunt trip or whatever, right? And so, you're thinking about, hey, I forgive them, but we're really thinking about how they orchestrated all of those little events in order to get to their destination. and how many times they had to go around me, how many times they had to lie to me, how many times they, how they had to position the argument, how they cut that conversation off when I brought it up last time, how they thought that they was getting over on the system. They didn't know that from the very first sentence on the subject, I suspected something. And now it comes to measure, I wasn't wrong
at all.
I cannot get rid of that out of my spirit. I just can't throw that away unless I'm experiencing an equal measure of remorse. Right?
That's deep.
You played me so bad, but I sense your forgiveness right now. I sense your heart. You are taking ownership. It takes a big person to take ownership of what they did.
I agree.
It takes a very big person to own up what they did. And I've done it many a times in many a days in many a ways, and I don't even know that it was even seen that I was attempting to make up for the differences. You know what I mean? I've had situations where a customer called me and it was on some nonsense, and I didn't want to call them back, so I ain't called them for 3 days, and and that's really what caused the problem. I didn't call them back for 3 days. And so when it's time to say, hey, okay, I'm gonna take care of you, then I believe in me. You know what I mean? Because they hadn't heard, well, where were you 3 days ago when, my engine was smoking out in the middle of the street, right? So, they really have to hear closure. And then from that closure, you're going to have to follow through, right? You have to follow through. The importance of forgiveness. Let's just talk a little bit about that. The importance of forgiveness, right? And I need you to help me with these, Jay. Feeling that you lack meaning or purpose, right? That if someone did you wrong, does that make you feel like you may lack meaning or you may lack purpose?
I got to give you a story to go along with that one. I had a phone call recently, and this person let me know that they appreciate the fact that I was still there for them, even when they had dark times and they did me so wrong. And at the time they was doing me wrong, I was doing wrong anyway. So we was just doing wrong all the way around. But one of the things I can always say is when this person was going through a lot, I took time to listen and I tried to give them the most positive advice as I could. Now, through all the stuff that happened, through time we didn't always speak, and I didn't ghost this person. The time people just go away. But this person also came back. And it wasn't coming back in a romantic way. It wasn't coming back in a sexual way. They came back because they just remembered the good person I was. And they said, something, through all what we went through and some of the stuff I did, I'm glad that I met you. I'm glad that I at least had something positive in my life because nobody else ever did what you did for me. Now, it didn't give me validation because I wasn't always right. But it made me feel good to know that a person know what they did. They wasn't asking just for a regular forgiveness. They wanted me to know how I added value to them. When I knew I wasn't perfect. And it made me realize I got to strive harder. Okay. Just like they're starting to strive harder. But now as they're stumbling and trying to get back up, they don't want me to look down at them. And I ain't never looked down. I don't got to look down at anybody. It's a push up. And what I like is the fact that she got up. Because before, all she did was fall down and stay down and just beg for everybody to help. Now, she's taking ownership of the stuff that's going on. And she's making change in her life. And she reached back at me, seeing what I'm doing, and said to me words of encouragement that she might not even felt like I cared to hear. I enjoy.
That's a powerful story. So listen, here's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. If you feel like someone owes you an apology, that kind of makes you feel less than, right? Like somebody did you wrong and they just did it right in your face and they ain't got no condolences and no apologies, and that just makes you feel like you have a lack of meaning or a lack of purpose, right? Yeah, we got a comment right here. Let me see.
Where we got?
Okay, ask Kraft if he feels that closer is the same as forgiveness. Closure is the same as forgiveness. Okay, I'll play. Is closure the same as forgiveness?
Not for me.
Well, let me think through that, because there's always the act of forgiveness, just the saying it.
Mm-hmm.
But closure allows forgiveness. I think closure is the prerequisite to a pure forgiveness, right?
Okay.
You come fully clean. You come clean about everything, that you are giving me closure on all the things that I have doubts about. That I could see it all unfolding, and I'm mad as hell that you did it. But the fact that you came and now you admitted it tells me that I might be able to trust you again. Closure gives me the opportunity to truly forgive, right? And, yeah, you gotta have it. Part of the closure is that remorse. Sometimes it's not knowing all the facts and the detail, but sometimes it's the remorse that somebody truly feels it, Go ahead, Rock.
Can I say sometimes a person does not know what you know?
Sometimes a person does not know what you know. What do you mean by that?
I'm just thinking logical.
They're not as
I feel like knowledge is power. And if you can't see the signs in front of you, like, I'm not saying you gotta follow a roadmap, but
knowledge is power.
I like it. It's just, I'm really feeling like when I hear closure, your closure might not ever give me my peace of mind, even though you feel it is necessary. All closure is not good, because again, if I already allowed this to happen, and I'm already about to ghost you, and you coming back with a closure, you're going to give me your end game, and I'm done. I don't care to hear what you got to say to end that matter,
right,
to make me feel like, you need to hear this other side of me. At this point, I am emotionally done. I do not want to hear nothing else, because I done made a decision off of all your actions. Some people feel like, well, I still need to let you know how I feel. Some people got to have that. I don't. My whole thing is, it just adds more fuel to the fire. I already made a decision. I'm not changing. I don't have time. I made my choice because of your actions. You want to give me something to make me reconsider. You should have thought of that when you was doing your actions. But now that I'm gone and you see I'm moved off to a better place, now you feel like you want to give some closure to something that you didn't have no thoughts to doing it when you had an opportunity. So I really watch that one, because I don't always agree with it. I just don't, because again, I don't feel a remorse when you come while later, and I don't say a while, I don't know if it's months or whatever. Now, if you're doing it right at the time you did it, then I can say that could be a conversation. But I'm talking about after you see you moved on and you doing good, and now I know that you was a good thing for me, but I want to give some closure. Shut it up and keep it and make change, okay? Because that person left you for you to understand the problems that you having and you're dealing with, and you're not doing nothing with. But now you want to give it back to them to show that you done grew.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much you grew. You ain't for me. And if you ain't for me, quit wasting my time. But you would rather be more comfortable with me and make me see a change when you know damn well you didn't give me a change at that time. Only thing you was doing was bringing me down. But now that you see me happy, you don't want me to be happy. You just want to be back with me. So watch some of that too, because this manipulation and game is going to be thrown at you all kind of different ways. That's why ghosting is harsh, and I tell you all day long, it ain't for everyone. I'm not telling everybody to start ghosting everybody. I'm just giving you a new word on a situation when they actually tell people to forgive, and you really feel like this person is not healthy for you, is not making great decisions around you, and you have to make a change. Understand what a ghosting is. Don't run to tell them all the wrongs that they do. It causes more of a drama. I'm not doing that. I see, okay, you doing that person wrong, you did me wrong, and then you coming back showing me the same wrong actions before. And this is as a friend. Yeah. I'm going to say friendly, I'm ghosting. I don't block you. In my ghosting, I don't block, because I need to know when you call me. I need to know what I deal with. I don't block, I don't delete. I just don't deal with you.
And listen, it's important, because we're talking about, the basic importance of forgiveness. That when there's not forgiveness, when there's not remorse, when there's not closure, it brings anger and bitterness into the relationship. And so your anger and your bitterness leads you to ghost. right?
And
You become resentful without even having a conversation with them anymore, right?
At that point.
Yeah, so good stuff, Jay. Good stuff. Listen, time for us to take one more break. You folks stay tuned. We'll be right back to more Bar Talk with Jay.
Alright, welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back.
Man, so again, simple things we want to remind everybody is next week, Thanksgiving, we will not be on. Again, I want y'all to enjoy the holidays and make sure everybody's having fun.
Yes, that's my feel.
And secondly, I want to make sure everybody remember that we went back to the Bar Talk with Jay, not just the Jeremiah. So again, a lot of times, just the viewing, that's why I'm trying to push everybody. I can get more people, more fans, more likes. They're just pushing it a little bit different. But again, we got different forms that you can find us on. And one of them is going to be a Bar Talk with Jay off of Jeremiah. And then also Periscope. And then we're doing live on IG. Instagram, trying to do different things to reach you. So I want to make sure I put that out to you. Now, back to the topic of hand.
Yes.
Crab got different ways to say I'm sorry, apologies, or forgiveness. Now, in looking at all these different ways, one of the things I want to make sure you understand is your exposure level. What are you exposed to? Because again, you might not ever be used to a person apologizing. Some people just keep doing what they do. They don't apologize. So now you're just forgiving, but you're not really understanding what all you're giving and doing, because the fact that all you know is this person keeps doing these things to you. And then you get with somebody and they're looking for you to look for forgiveness and no one ever asked it of you. So that changed the whole dynamics as well. And I really feel like at that point you're dealing with a different person. Somebody else showed you them, this person is showing you something different. That could be a good thing, because the other person was non-sympathetic and wasn't going to change, and it didn't work out. So now you with a person and he's asking you. See, that's something totally different.
Yeah.
This person know that something, I said something, something, I gotta admit, that was very wrong with me.
Yeah.
I should not have said that. I did not mean to say it in a way that it just came out so foul. And I apologize. And that person, what he on? What's that about? Because they're not used to that. Well, I want you to be used to something when a person is trying to correct a behavior, compared to a person lying about a change that ain't gonna never happen.
Yeah.
I'm used to that line.
Yeah, and let's just talk through a forgiveness, right?
Uh-oh.
So we know we were wrong. We know we did whatever we did. We know that we shouldn't have done it.
Uh-huh.
We know that we hurt people. We know
Mhm.
we stayed out late. We spent too much money. We entertained, a female or dude,
Too many, yep.
etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That when you come for the forgiveness, again, as I said, I think the most important thing is you have to be genuine. You have to be genuine, you have to be sincere, and you have to have already resolved in your mind not to do it again. You can't ask for forgiveness over the same thing over and over and over. When you are forgiven, you are supposed to change your ways, right? And so when you go into it, when you go into asking for forgiveness, right? You were just talking about people who don't apologize.
Right.
Well, let's walk through an apology. So
Okay.
if you are going to do it, you got to do it sincere.
Mm-hmm.
Be very intentional with your words. Don't just a haphazard apology. Oh my bad, I'm sorry. No, I think a good apology requires a rational explanation.
Okay, that's fair.
Right? You're going to use some words that almost like is a pressure release valve. Like, I knew it, you knew it, I'm sure glad you told me you knew it. That makes me feel better.
Okay.
Right?
I get that relief.
Listen, if you don't own up to your stuff, it's going to chase you. Anything you don't own up to, any lie you have told, that lie is chasing you now.
Now, let's go right back into that one. Lying is a huge one. If you lying, If
Can rational be harsh? Can rational be like harsh?
What do you mean?
Like, can I tell you in a harsh?
Oh, he said, can rational be harsh? No, it can't be harsh. That's
yeah,
another
you
thing.
gotta smooth it down. But when you're lying
You got to.
for forgiveness,
You went wrong.
I like to say that right there is gonna cause even more problems.
When you're lying for forgiveness?
Right, you're lying. You're not being honest about what went on. I'm asking for forgiveness, but I'm lying about the situation. I'm lying about what I did. Because I don't want to have to deal with my actions.
Right.
I just want you to forgive the fact that I got caught coming in late.
Yeah.
You didn't really catch me doing, so I'm just gonna lie about the situation and make it seem softer than what it was. Because if you really look deep, you can see a lot of intentional bad behavior in what all I was doing.
Yeah, you were being manipulated.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey, listen now, me and the boys, you know how we get. I just had a couple too many, Oh, they said I was a strip club. Who's out? Man, well, see, we went by one. Man, we wasn't really in. Man, they be tripping on me. But
that's
but I was.
Apology.
It's past a half-ass. It's a lie.
Yeah.
You don't want to face the truth.
Yeah.
That's what makes people really pull away from trying to give you a forgiveness.
Yeah.
Because you start off with untruths.
Well, what about the apology that you have to apologize because they took it wrong?
Well,
You got to apologize because they took.
You got to look at the delivery.
They took what you said the wrong way. They took it out of course.
I ain't gonna lie now. That apology is a little easier when I might have got in my feelings and I said it in a certain way and they took it because of maybe the voice and where it was aiming. She automatically took it the wrong way.
Right.
Now that one is kind of easy when you get out of your feelings and you be like, something, you might not have really understood exactly what I said. It can add back to a conversation for a better understanding compared to the other one where you just try to manipulate.
Right.
It is like I got oh no, you need to just shut that up. Now to her, you just disrespecting me and telling me it is because I got to put a stop because you're making this way something else. This is not where it's at. So I said, but then I have to come back and be like, okay, I shouldn't have used that word, shut up. But let's just say, let's talk about this in a way because you're bringing all this other stuff in it and they got nothing to do with it.
And listen how quickly it compounds, right? First of all, it's the issue. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to talk about the issue and you got heated and now you raised your voice.
Oh, no.
Now you got to apologize for that. And then you walked out, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of what she was trying to say, or you kept cutting her off. And so all of these things begin to compound. You can't do anything right in that scenario, okay? All you got to do is you got to just woosah and keep your mouth closed because there's nothing that you say that is going to work. Because if you owe her an apology, she feels like you violated her and she's going to attack you in any little way she can. She just want to get under your skin. She want to aggravate you. She wants you to feel just like she felt when she knew you was out doing what you was doing.
Now, I like that, Kraft. I like that. I don't even interrupt you, but hold on.
Yeah.
She wants you to feel exactly how she is feeling. That is another problem.
I'm not so sure that's a problem.
I might not ever feel the pain that you're feeling.
You may never feel it.
Right, so that right there is what you're giving me is going to be a false sense of pain. What you giving me now, I'm not feeling. Okay? Your mouth and what you want to go off and thinking I'm feeling any of your pain, I'm not. I'm the one that made that selfish. Well, unfortunately, I'm not.
But you should be.
Well, you would like to, but let's just be real. Because if I ain't going to be real, ain't nobody going to be helped. If I'm not really feeling it and I got caught, I'm not feeling all the emotions she's feeling. And that's why I say it can get selfish. I knew what I did. And when I got caught, I didn't deal with her emotions. This is the honest part. I didn't deal with her emotional part. I deal with my part of getting caught. I'm not trying to put no more into this.
I should have gotten, I'm putting it, no, it ain't that you got caught. It's that you did the shit.
I'm telling you how I am thinking and what most simpleness is. I'm going off the caught portion, not all off the what I did.
Listen,
I'm be honest.
If you apologize off the caught portion, you're not really apologizing.
Oh yeah, I'm apologizing for getting caught.
No, you're not apologizing.
I ain't say I was
changing. She
changing.
can give a rat's ass whether you got caught or not. The bottom line is you was out doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing.
That's what she's drilling me on.
Yes.
That action, and I am trying to get away from other actions that really need to be changed.
She is deeply hurt
I know.
And yes, she wants you to feel her pain. She may not necessarily want you to feel the way she feels, but she wants to know that you connect with her pain. How much it hurt her, how much it disappointed her, how much it saddened her. You know, it made her feel like a nobody. She's been pouring in and giving, and you know, that's what she wants you to feel.
I totally agree with you. But so that's not meaning that I'm going to feel it.
But you're not
by the words of what she's saying.
But if you don't feel it, you have to at least express a great amount of humility. Okay. You're gonna have. You can't be talking about, but then, you can't do none of that. You was wrong, and the person is wrong. You ain't got no more grounds to stand on. You got to take the shit, or else you gonna run from your own problem that you created. Stand there in the gap, just like any other child. The child don't want to hear you lecture them, but that's what you want to do to the child, and that's the child was wrong, and the child has no choice. And it's not the child scenario, you're grown folk,
right?
But it is that due respect, it is that level of humility that she's going to get to speak her mind. She's going to get to say what she wants to do, or vice versa. He's going to get to speak his mind and say what he wants. If they don't get an opportunity to speak their mind and say what they want, they feel robbed in the apology. They feel robbed.
I totally agree.
They feel like you ran a game and you coming back with soft words, trying to get back in the dough. I want you and I love you and etc. But you on some other shit.
That's right.
So, you know, you can't be all that explaining and, you know, all that, you know. Listen, there's nothing wrong with the rationale, right? Especially if it was kind of a misunderstanding or whatever, or you're trying to get her to see that it wasn't what she thought it was or whatever. You know, we understand that there's some times that she may, you are trying to apologize to her, but you don't really feel like you did something wrong, but you are upset about the way that she feels.
Right.
Right? That happens oftentimes in relationships, right? You know, if y'all were at the party and you talked to the girl too much, you know, to the girl too much, and she was, you know,
she was a model,
right? And so that night you apologizing like, baby, it wasn't even nothing like that.
I ain't even get her number.
Yeah, we was talking about.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You finna get your ass kicked. I'm trying to stand up for you anymore.
But you get shit about DM. Just say. But I got
so you trying to apologize, but you didn't really do anything wrong. You were talking to her.
I didn't feel like
but you talking to her a little too long at the party made her feel uncomfortable. Right. They feel like you were trying to holler. You were trying to get close to her, just like you did when her cousin came around out of town. You was trying to get close to her.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you think nobody can't see you trying to get close, but everybody can see you making your moves.
Right.
You know, doing your little swaggerlicious type program. So you got caught up. You just got to be quiet. Now, you can explain yourself in that, honey, I was just standing there. Right. I wasn't, you know, I didn't look at her any certain way. I wasn't too close to her. I wasn't social butterfly, right? So, you know, please, baby, understand that I wasn't trying to, you know, do anything disrespectful. You got to embarrass you in front of your friends and your coworkers. That you got to say those things. Yeah. You know, and I only stuck with her. And you got to. I'm just saying, you know. You straight fine. There's no more life for you. There's no more life for you, buddy.
Hey, let me tell you, it happens more than you know. But one of the things I like about what you said, it's all about respect and humility. You got to realize if you're going to keep a selfish way, and a person should recognize that. And that's where ghosting comes from. Because if a person keeps showing your behavior and you keep thinking that person going to change, I will be one to tell you, sincere. If they're sincere about things that they say, you should be able to hear it. You should be able to see some things.
Yeah.
But when you're not, why do we keep playing this game that's obvious? I'm not saying he's just playing you. He's doing him. And it don't work for you.
That's some BS, though.
So it is. And in that BS, it takes a little bit of a person making a decision. I have to make countless decisions dealing with people that I can see don't have nothing for me. They keep showing me that they're there for me. They keep telling me all this. And I'm looking at your actions because your actions should reflect back to the actions I'm trying to show you. You trying to tell me because, again, I'm single and I'm doing all this, but also I'm a caring person. I also do all this. I do a lot, period. So I'm looking to see all what you do, but all you want to do is bring up things over here. Okay, but you have a life over here. So if it's all about you and I don't feel me, then you ain't a multiplier to me. I got multiple things I need done. I'm not looking for her to do everything. I'm trying to do it all. But to multiply is to find ways to get it done where we can easily have more time for each other. It is, can you just do for me? Don't get me wrong, Kraft. It ain't everybody. I'm not talking about everybody. Damn sure not everybody that's in my life. Because the ones that's like that ain't in my life. I ghost their ass. Because why? And if they listening, it wasn't nothing personal. You just wasn't right for me. You're a good person for somebody else. You just wasn't meant for me. And anything I done for you is just a blessing. Take it. And again, money ain't everything.
Right. Hey, listen, it's time for us to take another break. This is our final break. We're going to come back and wrap this show up with a bang. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. To our final segment. We have been cutting up this show a little bit, man. Some good stuff. I like what we were talking about during the break. Can you regurgitate that a little bit, Jay?
I will. You know, a lot of times they say forgiveness and understanding it's kind of hard. Like, if my kid do something to me, it's hard because it's a little bit different compared to a relationship. I told you about ghosting. Yeah. All right? But my child decides that they don't want to listen to me, they want to go against me, and they doing some things. Now, then they need my help. That's your child. You're going to do what you can do.
Right.
But then after a while, it gets to a point that I have to look at them just like I look at anything else. I have to evaluate. And it's like, yo, I got to have a heart-to-heart. I got to pray over it. I'll be like, yo, I don't want to ghost you because you're my child. But you ain't listening. Nothing I'm saying ain't listening. Your child has a mind of their own. And as much as you want them to go down certain paths, they got to go down a path that's meant for them. And it's hard when you are supporting and taking care of that person. And I am not trying to put good money with bad intent, even with my own. So it hurts when this person ain't calling, ain't checking it, but they just won't. Okay? So I have to make that call of not just ghosting, but step into a point where I got to let him fall. I got to let them do whatever they're going to do. Because again, they hopefully come back around. The good Lord ain't never forsake me, but the things that they doing is not in my will, in my power, that I can say I am going to walk with them when I know they ain't right. Yeah. Now, these are the things that you have to ask for forgiveness. I have to ask the good Lord for me to be able to continue even trying to help them. Because it's not easy.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Booby just mentioned a moment ago that, once you break loyalty and trust, it's hard to be forgiven.
Find out your kid's lying to you.
That
breaks up that loyalty. Yeah. But you already know it's manipulation and entitlement.
Yeah.
They feel like, well, if I told you the truth, you wouldn't help me.
Yeah. But what you recognize is that somebody who's not going to stand on their word. Okay. And once you find somebody who's not going to stand on their word, nothing they say is the truth. Nothing they say is believable anymore. You're going to doubt everything that they say in those moments. Mm-hmm. And so, we got to, that's why we have to be so careful with our loyalty and our trust. We have to take care of those things in our relationships.
But that's why I brought it back to your child, because that's something you give to them.
That's something you give to them.
You don't maybe give it to a stranger. You might not give it to a person in a relationship off the rip.
They got it.
But to your child, they get it naturally.
Right.
DNA, they got it. But then they don't get it.
Right.
That's where it takes the bigger you. Because they're not always in the best blessing I can ever tell you. There's a lot of times they get it through somebody else. Mm-hmm. That's why I am so openly transparent with others as well. I'll get close to my kids' friends, but I ain't trying to be their friend, where I give them advice and I push them because I know they got my child's best interest. So as I catapult them, sometimes they reach back and they grab them. And to me, and you met her, what's John's best friend? Kenya. Been on our show, been doing great things. She always went back for my boy John. She always reached back for him. That's how I got to know her. not had any interest. She just always had interest in my son's well-being. Went to college, came back and checked on him. So that's why she started the show with me, because I said anybody that shows my son that kind of love, I'm gonna try to support and push forward. That's where that comes from, because John needed that help, and now John is getting it. He's working, he's doing this thing. But when you ask him to do it, it's like it's a challenge. It's man on man. He's becoming into a man now. So we getting that male testosterone going back and forth. Where now it get broken through with a young lady I helped that was his friend.
Right.
Now I know he was really just dating at the time, but his friend. Now when he see her doing great, he wants to do great. But it's not just off my word, it's off of what all you doing with her. Pops, you do this for everybody. So now you're getting a different perspective. One that I couldn't just tell him. And that's why growth happens. And that's why this show is important, to push people to get back to multiplying. I pushed her, she's multiplying. She's doing great things. We got to get people back to a multiplying status compared to a judging or a manipulating or a selfish. Because that's what I see more of.
Yeah, and that's powerful, Jay. In an effort to get back to unity, I just want to turn the table on the conversation a little bit, that forgiveness is not always necessary just for the big things. Sometimes the forgiveness is just about us having the misunderstanding. You know, that we got loud with one another. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I've been distant from you. I'm sorry that you know, I upset you. You know, I know we got different belief systems, but I really don't want you to feel malice. I don't want you to feel like I don't care about you. You know, there's a lot of things that need to be said in the midst of a daily healthy relationship that continues to keep one another, keep the unity going. Right? So, you know, it's not just about big things, it's about the little things. And I think the most important message to share here is that you got to find a way on a daily basis to give in. You got to find a way on a daily basis to connect. You got to find a way on a daily basis to let go of the BS and try to capture the moment. Okay? And of course, what a lot of times happens is the more little things that you do that's bad, you know, you made a smart aleck comment and you stayed out late and you misspent money and you know, you don't spend no time with the kids and you ain't took me out, and you know, all those things will start to create a bigger wave, right? But if it's just, you know, simple minor things in the house, find a way to let them go. Find a way to have a good night that night. Don't spend the night sitting in the living room not talking to one another, or you're in separate rooms, maybe even get to the point that you have to sleep in a different room because you're so upset that night. Find a way to forgive. Forgiving is a very humbling experience. It basically says that you put your entire self on your knees in front of the other person. You're asking for, you know, not just it to be over with and bypass us, but you're asking them to, you know, give you some reprieve. You're asking them for, you know, for a pass. You're asking them to, hey, let's let it go. You know, let's see if we can think about this differently. Let's turn this into a positive. You know, the daily work is the bigger work to be done. Right?
I agree.
And you know, there are a lot of folks who just don't practice it, and thereby building up tidal waves of stuff.
Would you say that they're holding oneself accountable?
Would you say that they're holding
oneself accountable?
They're holding themselves accountable in forgiveness, in the forgiveness? Yeah, absolutely. You know, you gotta realize that if you push your significant other's buttons, you know that you pushed their button. You know that you said that thing that they don't like you to say. You know you were. You did that smart aleck way about you. You know how you rolled your eyes, or how you tried to end the conversation.
Whatever.
Yeah, you know, that each person has to hold themselves accountable, and that means that, hey, you know I pushed the button an hour ago. I know I shouldn't have said that crap. I know she get mad. I know she hated when I say that. I know she hated when I do that. And sometimes you be doing it because you want to mash on them like they're mashing on you.
Thank you.
But you can't do that. You gotta refrain.
She did it to me.
I know, but you know that ain't nothing but building a mountain.
That is true.
A mountain between
negativity.
A mountain of negativity between the two islands.
I agree.
Right? Now there's no more water for the islands to even come back together. It's just a big mountain there of who said and this and that. You know?
Now, I also have to say that goes both ways. I can't ignore you pushing my buttons and think that doesn't affect me.
Right?
Because again, it's just a build-up.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be an explosion behind your actions.
Yeah.
And you're gonna keep doing it because I ain't seen him react, so I'm gonna do it again. So it's a lot of things that happen.
It takes two.
You know, when we don't really bring it to the table, it can cause us to bring it to the table when it's too late.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to hear it no more.
But just like you said, Jay, it takes two to play the game. You know what I mean? I can't just be sitting over here feeling this way by myself,
Yeah,
and,
right.
and you don't want to participate.
And you keep doing
You know, so listen, it is time for us to go for the show, and you know, we really, really appreciate you folks being with us tonight. We hope that some of this has been good for you. You've learned something about yourself. You've made some decisions about, you know, forgiving others, or how to, you know, forgive or be forgiven, or whatever the case may be. We're just hoping that there's been some good dialogue here to feed your spirit. We are here every single week, every Thursday from 7 to 9, Facebook Live, and we'd love for you to join us and share it with your friends, family. Like us, subscribe, share, like, subscribe. Please help us get the message out, the positivity that we bring, and just talking about real world issues, and trying to make sense of what's really going on underneath the surface of our spirit. You know? So we want to thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. And with that, folks, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.